Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, we're going to be taking an in-depth look into the Ford Focus RS. This video is going to be a little bit shorter than my typical reviews because earlier this year, I did another in-depth review on the Focus ST. So if you'd like to see a more thorough look at the Focus in general, such as backseat space and trunk space, I'll put the link to that review in the description box below. But for this review, we're going to concentrate on what makes the RS unique. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, and go over the performance data, take it on a thorough drive both on the road and the track, and show you many of the standout features throughout the interior as well as exterior. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in, start her up, and let her run. A special mention to the North Carolina Center for Automotive Research. For more information about the track and the facilities in general, be sure to check out the links provided in the description box below. Along with a smart key access system, the RS comes standard with push-button ignition. To start, all you have to do, just make sure you have the key fob within the interior, then put your foot on the clutch and hit the dash-mounted button to go. The third generation Focus RS is laden with technology and outright ability. It's the 30th product to wear the storied RS badge and the first time any RS model has ever been offered for sale in the US. I was fortunate enough to spend a week with this car, testing it out on both the road and the track. After having extended experience with the ST earlier last year, I quickly realized that this car is much more than your typical hot hatch. After diving into exactly what it took to create the RS, it's obvious that this car is also an exercise in engineering and aerodynamics. From afar, it might not look that far off from a Focus ST, but it's what's underneath that counts. The RS is an all-wheel drive 350 horsepower monster that comes exclusively with a manual transmission. Sure, that's all well and good, but the reality of it is that the RS is a car that's just as capable being a daily driver as it is being an occasional track car. Much of the bodywork is shared with the rest of the Focus lineup. The changes you see were done to achieve a specific aerodynamic target of having zero lift at the front and rear. That's no small task, especially for a hatchback that, in base form, starts around $20,000. So what exactly sets an RS apart? The hood and fenders are unchanged, but the entire front fascia is new. It puts a priority on cooling with 4 large intakes. The upper intake feeds the radiator, the lower intake feeds the intercooler. The 2 channels at the outer edges are for brake cooling. A large splitter in the nose helps push the car down at higher speeds. The side skirts appear to be shared with the ST, but the rear fascia is another RS-specific component. It incorporates a functional diffuser and twin 4.5-inch polished exhaust outlets. Up top, there's a 2-piece rear wing with a blacked out center section and RS logos to either side. The wing functions to counteract the action of the front spoiler by using the flow of air over the roofline to push the rear of the car closer to the ground. As a whole, the RS is very aggressive, a lot more aggressive than its closest competitor, the Volkswagen Golf R. Pricing for the RS begins at $36,775, including an $875 destination charge. There's a handful of additional options that can send the RS over the $40,000 mark, but our tester equipped with the RS2 interior package stickers for $39,560. The RS features its own wheel and tire package consisting of lightweight 19 by 8-inch alloys and 235/35 Michelin Pilot Supersport tires that can easily hold around 1G of lateral acceleration. Forged wheels are optional, as are high-performance Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. With the significant gains in power, the RS also needed a set of brakes that can not only tame it properly, but ones that can stand up to the extreme demands on track days with minimal fade. The front discs span 13.7 inches compared to 12.6-inch discs found on the Focus ST. With lightweight 4-piston Brembo monoblock calipers, the RS brakes weigh about 6% less than the ST's brakes. They're kept cool thanks to dedicated air ducts in the front fascia and the underbody, in addition to airflow guides in the lower suspension arms. In the rear, you'll find 10.7-inch solid discs with single piston calipers, which are shared with the rest of the Focus lineup, including the ST. The RS features a thoroughly modified independent suspension that consists of McPherson struts in front and a multi-link design in the rear. Compared to the ST, spring rates are up by 33% in front and 38% in the rear, while torsional rigidity is up by 9%. The front wheels also have a higher degree of negative camber on the front axle to ensure equal loading when taking a corner. The anti-roll bars, subframe, and engine mounts have also been reinforced. Where the Focus ST delivers its power to the front wheels, the RS benefits from an advanced all-wheel drive system. At the heart of it are a pair of electronically controlled clutch packs, one on either side of the rear drive unit. Up to 70% of the engine's torque can be sent to the rear in certain instances. Not only that, but with the rear drive unit's torque vectoring capability, that available torque at the rear is able to be transferred side to side between the rear wheels. In other words, when entering a corner, more torque is sent to the outside rear wheel to help rotate the car and reduce the possibility of understeer. The RS also uses brake-based torque vectoring control to supplement the actions of the rear drive unit and the all-wheel drive system as a whole. Collectively, this leads to a remarkably agile car that's able to corner at high speeds with excellent control and directional stability. It inspires confidence to push it harder and harder as the limits are very predictable and there's little to no understeer. The steering is an electrically assisted rack and pinion setup that takes just 2 turns to lock. The ratio isn't variable like the Focus ST, it's more linear in behavior, with a ratio fixed at a tight 13:1. It's also more sensitive, so it reacts faster to directional changes and delivers excellent feedback. The weighty steering feel is firmed up even more when the car is set to sport or track mode. The turning circle is measured at 38.7 feet. What I find fascinating is that there's even a drift mode. When selected, it allows for controlled oversteer. It's endlessly entertaining and adds another face to its many personalities. Two-mode adaptive dampers are included as well. You can firm them up by 40% in both compression and rebound by pressing a small button on the edge of the turn signal stalk. Otherwise, they're automatically firmed up when the car is set to track mode. While they work wonders at keeping the car stiff, they can be too stiff at times, leading to an uncomfortably choppy ride over rough pavement. I personally prefer to lap the track in drift mode as the dampers remained relaxed and the car felt a bit more playful, but it really depends on the road surface as the dampers shine much more brightly on smooth pavement. As a fan of the Focus ST, the RS blew me away. It's fast and poised. Yes, the ride is stiff, but where this car is best experienced is out on the track. There you can really feel what it's all about. The RS is powered by a specially engineered version of Ford's 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder. Constructed using an aluminum block with an aluminum head, it features dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, dual variable valve timing, and direct fuel injection. In order to raise the bar for power and performance, this engine features a slew of upgrades that are exclusive to the RS. For starters, there's an all-new low-inertia twin-scroll turbocharger. With a larger compressor wheel, it's able to deliver more airflow and up to 23.2 psi of boost. Complementing the turbo's increased output is a larger intercooler to maximize charge density. Engineers were also able to create additional space in front to fit a larger radiator to enhance cooling even further. The cylinder head is developed from an upgraded alloy that's capable of withstanding higher temperatures. Cast and machined by Cosworth in the UK, it's mounted on a more robust head gasket that also improves thermal efficiency. The cylinder block employs stronger high-tensile cast iron liners. The compression ratio is rated at 9.4:1, while redline is 6,800 RPM. The RS develops 350 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 325 pound-feet of continuous torque between 2,000 and 4,500 RPM. Taking into consideration the temporary overboost feature that can raise torque to a peak of 350 pound-feet, that's an increase of 98 horsepower and 80 pound-feet of torque over the Focus ST's 2-liter Turbo 4. Allowing the RS to hit 60 miles an hour in a brisk 4.6 seconds and accelerate to a top speed of 165 miles per hour. Power comes on strong and a lot sooner than you might expect. There's a lot of mid-range torque on demand with minimal lag. Fine-tuned in the RS are 4 drive modes, including normal, sport, track, and drift. They adapt the steering, throttle, dampers, all-wheel drive system, stability control, traction control, and even the loudness of the exhaust. Like the Focus ST, the RS is only offered with a 6-speed manual transmission. Tailored specifically for the RS, the manual features a shorter gear lever and revised mechanism to deliver faster, more accurate shifts. The transmission and clutch have even been upgraded with stronger components that are able to cope with the engine's increased torque output. When driving spiritedly, a shift light appears within the instrument cluster to indicate the proper shifting interval, while a built-in launch control system optimizes the car for the fastest acceleration possible off the line. In conjunction with the low restriction intake manifold, the RS also benefits from a high-performance 3-inch diameter exhaust system that includes an electronically controlled valve to optimize the balance between back pressure and noise output. EPA fuel economy estimates range between 19 miles per gallon in the city and 25 miles per gallon on the highway. Expected average is around 22 miles per gallon. An auto start-stop feature is standard. The RS requires premium fuel and has a total capacity of 13.9 gallons. The Focus has great build quality for its segment. Everything has a pretty solid feel from the way the doors close to the various controls, and the majority of touch points up front are finished in soft touch materials. Subtle touches of satin bright work add an upscale element and complement the RS aluminum tread plates and pedals nicely. This generation of Focus has been around since 2011, but in 2015 the lineup received a refresh that included revised front door storage, a new center console and media bin, and a redesigned center stack with improved climate controls. The RS interior is offered in black with plenty of blue accent stitching. Standard equipment include manually adjusting partial leather Recaro Sport seats up front, but with the RS2 package, as shown here, leather and faux suede are added along with a power adjusting driver's seat. The Recaros are one of my favorite elements of this interior. It was easy to find a comfortable seating position, especially with the powered lumbar. The big lateral bolsters hug you in tight around corners, and they have plenty of padding to minimize fatigue on longer trips. Also included in the RS2 package are heated seats, a heated steering wheel, and heated power mirrors. There's 7 airbags dispersed throughout the interior, including a driver's knee airbag and side curtains for both the front and the rear. Like the ST, the RS comes with a 3-gauge pack perched on top of the dash. A powered sunroof is optional. Last year, Ford introduced the all-new Sync 3 infotainment system to replace My Ford Touch. It's a huge step up. It has all of the features that you typically expect from a system like this nowadays, but it's a lot more streamlined and easy to use. Kind of like a blend between Chrysler's Uconnect system and Kia's Uvo system. You have all of your main functions across the bottom of the screen, navigation, satellite radio, and so much more. The RS also comes standard with a 10-speaker, 355-watt Sony audio system. There's an in-dash CD player, and the majority of your radio controls are located right in the middle. For added comfort, a dual-zone electronic automatic climate control system is standard. The controls are very self-explanatory with your fan speed and different zones in the middle, front and rear defrost, and again, heated seats are optional. As far as storage, there's a small pocket right ahead of the shifter that also houses a USB port. In the middle, there's 2 cup holders with removable portions in case you need to stow taller cups, and a good-sized center console towards the rear with a removable storage tray. On the right side, you have a glove box that offers a generous amount of space. So now let's go ahead and see how she sounds, both sitting still and on the road. I'm going to be doing a pure sound video for this as well, which covers the sound clips more in depth, with different angles, additional track footage, and more. When that video is live, I'll put the link in the description box below. Alright, let's go ahead and shut her down. Like I said, I've already talked about the back seat and trunk space in my review of the Focus ST, so if you'd like to see all of that and more, be sure to check out that link in the description box below. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the Ford Focus RS. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's always a lot more where that came from. Take care everyone.